everybody. My name is Charlotte, and I work at CAC Beardsley Farm. And I'm very happy to introduce to you two really great people who are going to make a pita pizza with you today. This is Sal. He is an AmeriCorps member at Beardsley Farm. And this is Emily, and she is a big fan of peppers and is excited to make this pizza with you today. So I hope you enjoy the video.
So we're going to get started with a really nice, delicious, quick, and nutritious dinner that the whole family can enjoy. And in order for us to save us some time, we have purchased these pitas, which work perfectly as the base for pizzas. Before we do anything else, since we're going to be using the oven, we're going to get started with that. Every time you use the oven, make sure you remember to preheat your oven. For this recipe, we're going to do 425 degrees Fahrenheit. So I'm going to go back here and get it going. Okay. So, Emily, what do you want in your pizza today? Peppers. Do you want cheese and tomato sauce in there too? Cool. You said earlier too you like spinach. Would you like some spinach in your pizza?
Yes.
Great. Awesome. So we're going to start by grabbing each. I'm going to make my own pizza. So you're going with peppers. I'm going to go with these cherry tomatoes that we have. Give you yours over here. And this is going to be mine over here. So we want to start cutting our vegetables, I guess, that are going to go into our pizza. Since you want some peppers, we got this really funky looking purple peppers, which are sweet peppers. And I guess you can use those for your pizza. And then you told me too that you really like green bell peppers, right? So we're gonna use them. We're gonna use a little bit of both on them. So we're gonna buy something that I like to do every time I'm using a cutting board. Fold a couple of damp paper towels underneath it, and you can place your cutting board on top. That'll stop it from sliding. Emily here has done the same, and that way your board won't dance around your table, and you'll be a little bit safer as you work with your knife. So we're going to start. I guess I'm going to do this with you. Do you want to cut the bell pepper, or do you want to cut the? Do you want to cut the green bell pepper, or do you want to cut the purple bell pepper? The green bell pepper, cool. So a really nice way I like to do this is to get rings out of the bell peppers because they're going to look really nice in the pizza. So if you want to grab your bell pepper like this, just set it down. Exactly, yeah. And so when you use your knife, you want to curl your fingers to the back and keep your fingers away from the sharp edge of your knife. You're going to want to grab your knife like this. Perfect. Just like that. Thumb over there. And we're going to do one slice at the bottom. So you're going to want to saw as you go down. There you go. Is that good? Great. Nice. So now we can do another one. So we can get kind of like a quarter of an inch thick. That looks good. And so this recipe, because of all the ingredients that you use to make a pizza, it's a really cool recipe to have your kids help you out. Emily here is doing great. I myself, I'm going to go with cherry tomatoes. So for the cherry tomatoes, I'm going to go ahead. All these vegetables have been washed. Your kids could help you wash the vegetables as they go in. For the cherry tomatoes, I'm going to slice them in half. Emily, do you want to get one more slice of that, so that it can go in your bell pepper pizza. Guess I'm gonna go ahead and slice a couple cherry tomatoes. Now that we've got everything that all the vegetables that we want to have in our pizza, we can grab our pita bread and we're gonna grab our sauce. There we go. Pizza doesn't really take that much sauce, you know. So I have a tablespoon over here, and I'm gonna mix it up. I guess 1, 1.5 will do. We'll spread. We'll see how far that takes us. Again, it's a nice thin layer of sauce that's gonna go in your pizza because you don't want the sauce going all around your baking sheet tray, because that's just another thing that you gotta watch. And if you don't fill it up too much, that just means less plating to do. You want to go ahead, go 1.5, I guess. Guess you can grab just a little more here. Perfect. Let's see how it spreads around. If you need a little bit more, we'll give you a little bit more. Again, the idea of this recipe is that it's using a lot of vegetables, but you can go ahead and get creative with it. You know, turkey sausage is a good addition for a meat substitute that's going to be low in fat, a little bit healthier. But if you prefer an Italian pork sausage, bacon, for example, you're happy. This is a recipe that will allow you to get very creative. All right, now that we've done our sauce, we can go with our cheese. We have some shredded mozzarella. There's a lot of pre-shredded cheeses out there that you can use. We want to do shredded mozzarella because it's a little bit less fat in it, less salt. But there's a Italian mixture which works really well. We want to grab a pinch from there, a big pinch. There we go. Maybe you're gonna want another one to spread it around. Yeah. You can get it as cheesy as you want. I'll do the same. Put it evenly around. This cheese is gonna melt real nicely. Some real nice cheesy pizzas. So Emily, now you can start arranging the slices of peppers that you slice right on top of your pizza, however you want it. Got a little piece there, and then I slice these for you here too, so we can add a little bit of color to your pizza, if you like to do so. There you go. Nice. So you said you like spinach too, right? You like a little bit of spinach in your pizza. Spinach cooks really nicely, so you have the option to put it in raw if your kids feel adventurous. Like Emily actually likes raw spinach. But in this case, just to show you guys, we're going to put it in and have it be cooked. So how do you grab this? And the very chefy way to do this is put it on. Tear it on, put a couple of these in there, and that'll cook down really nicely. Another thing that you can do with the spinach is to add a little bit more nutrients into your pizza, would be to cut it very thinly and hide it underneath the sauce and then underneath the cheese. Again, roll your fingers up. Take your time chopping if you are not comfortable chopping, but just do a very fine chop as you go, rocking motion, and you can use that to sprinkle perhaps underneath the cheese, hide it underneath, and your kids won't even notice it. I'll go with some cherry tomatoes in that I've sliced, and I'm just going to put it on top. just like that. So we are ready to bake at this point. See what the oven tells us. It's right about preheating. So we're going to be gonna heat up real soon. And you're gonna need a baking tray, whatever aluminum metal pan you can find, really. Something that will hold a lot of heat in the oven, and pretty much put our pizzas in there. And the pizzas are gonna go in the oven for about 5 to 10 minutes. Really just keep an eye on them. Once all the cheese is melted, you'll probably know that the pita is warm and all your vegetables will be also cooked. So we're gonna go in the oven now. So we said we were going to do a little experiment, right? Emma here told me that she had never seen a purple bell pepper. It's really cool to see that peppers come in a lot of different shapes and sizes. And because their color is different, they actually do taste a little bit differently. Emily here likes green bell peppers more than red bell peppers. So we're going to see what she thinks about the purple bell pepper. And I'm going to do this with you too. There you go. And then I'm going to slice a piece of. So we can both try purple first. What do you think?
It's good.
It's good? All right, we go with our green bell pepper now. Can I tell you what I think?
Actually, I think it's a tie.
It's a tie? Cool. I felt like there was a little bit more flavor on the purple, but just a little bit, very little. But it's interesting, right? How we can grow this, and they almost taste the same, but they look very differently. And it's a really nice way to add a little bit more color, get a little bit more flavorful. At Beardsley, we're very lucky, and we have a lot of different varieties of cherry tomatoes. This one's yellowy, it's kind of green and red in a way. Another thing that I showed that I'm going to add to my pizza is basil. It's a really nice herb that grows really well with tomatoes. And if you have a window to get some sun, you could very easily have this year round growing. Once you buy one plant, once you get one plant, you'll have plants forever because the flowers grow really easily as the plant matures. And seeds will literally drop into the pot and a new little plant's going to grow over and over till eternity, pretty much. So if you have a little window with some sun, this is a really nice herb to have to add to your food because it smells really great. You smelled it earlier, right? What did you think?
It smelled like mint.
Like mint. Yeah, a little bit. It's a little bit more of a delicate herb. So you wouldn't want to cook it that much, although you can. For my pizza, I'm going to put it in raw. It's a really great herb to throw into spaghetti and tomato sauce, for example. Give it a little fresh, add a little bit of freshness, and again, more nutrients. All these green things are full of really good things, a lot of nutrients that are good for you. The more bitter, the better, usually, but it takes a little bit of getting used to it to really like those kinds of things. Emily, you like kale, right? Kale's, I think kale's a step up over spinach. I think it usually has a lot more nutrients and the flavors is a little bit more distinct, but it's another really nice, mellow, packed full of nutrition leaf that you can very easily hide in sauces. Let me just stop this because we just got away from now.
Yeah.
We're not running out of things to say. Great. So, magic of TV, 10 minutes have passed, and we're ready to pull our pizzas out of the oven. Whenever you pull something out of the oven, make sure you have some nice mittens, a towel folded 2 or 3 times. Make sure it's dry. Never grab something hot with a wet towel because that is going to hurt a lot. And you're going to lose your meal because you're going to drop it on the floor. Another good tip is to have another towel. In this case, I have a mitten. I'm just going to put it down. That way, I can set my hot plate on top of the table without ruining the table, or then forgetting that I have something hot and then put my hand on the table. And that hurts too. It's happened to me a lot. So, pizzas are ready. And Emily's hungry. Oh, yeah. Look at that. What do you think? Good? I'll show you what we got here. Like Emily's pizza's got a little bit of color in there. Tomatoes are fully cooked. The spinach is cooked down a little bit. Again, be very careful. Hot things burn. Gonna transfer back into our cutting board. And again, the idea here is that we can play around with what ingredients you have. You know, get your kids' favorite vegetables, and maybe get one that they might not like very much, but challenge them to eat something. Again, careful with this. I'm gonna get it out of the way just to avoid any accidents. Like I said, I was gonna go with some basil. Basil, I like to keep raw, it's a little bit more aromatic. I'm gonna go with some, again, all you gotta do is tear it up. You know, you don't even have to use a knife. You can cut it up with a knife if you want to. I like to tear it up. As you tear it up, you start releasing more of those aromas too. And the name of the game is flavor. That's my catchphrase. You excited? So, grab your knife, cut down, another cut down. Give Emily here. Good slice. Let's see. I think this is the best slice. And I'm also going to give her on mine, see what she thinks about my pizza. Go ahead and try it. Careful, it's going to be a little bit hot. There you go. Give it a little blow just so it doesn't. It's good.